I don't know if others can be able to see me.
Yes, I can see you. I can.
Brother, we can see you. Carry on.
All right, thank you very much. Okay. Um, Good evening, everyone. My name is Fivo Nadi. I'm a medical lab scientist, and if I have done the introduction, no need of going to the introduction again. But however, before I call on our guest this night, I have a few things to say. And these have been my passion. When I was in school, even at final year, nurses, doctors, pharmacists, and some other medical professionals, you see them knowing their roots outside Nigeria. You see them having basic information of what they should know. You see them talking at final year. They know about PLAB, they know about IELTS, but sometimes most of us there's an information gap in medical lab science profession that issues around movement is not discussed, probably because some persons are not having that burden to be able to fill that gap. So that's been my passion, and all this while I know I've been able to host for UK, I've been able to host for US, and today we are hosting for Ireland. Probably there will be subsequent sections for Australia, New Zealand, and some other countries that we want to go and practice. Because the truth is that some of us don't know that as a medical lab professional, there is more you can. You have the whole world to go. You are very needed at all the global space. So the journey started when I talked about UK. Some persons were okay. Half out of Ireland, heard Ireland can they accept Nigerian trained medical scientists to come and work in their country. So I began to look for how do I get this information across to people? How do I begin to um, get a resource person? So I was able to get to one of our senior colleagues. I've not met him before. I don't even know him. But there's something about social media and health communications. That is what the call of attraction. You begin to attract your like. You begin to attract people of your how do I put it? The same people we flow in the same frequency with. So we met on LinkedIn, we connected, we began to speak, and from there I told him I would like to host you in a section where you can teach people on the migration plan to Ireland, so that some persons who have, if you have any information, can be able to help you to know the particular country you want to go to, how to plan your way, the money involved, and sometimes some persons are afraid of taking some decisions or taking some steps because they are not rightfully informed. They are not really they didn't tell them what it's all about or what is involved. And sometimes, some of these things, this process needs you to have someone at your beck, or somebody can say, I'm at this stage, or what do I do next? Or I'm confused at this point, what do I do next? So, because of that, some persons may lose that courage to continue in this journey. So, but if we have, that's why I wanted to use a Telegram live video. The essence of this Telegram live video is this: you can be dropping your message on the chat. This video is being recorded. You Thank you, fine is recording the video after the webinar, after the talk show, you can be able to follow each other in the group. Like it can be a support group for persons. If you've joined now, you've disabled that you cannot comment or you cannot say anything more than once in an hour. So after we did it such a way that this place will not be that noisy or be that rowdy. So after now, I think you can now disable that. You can post your comments, you can write whatever you want to write, or you can say whatever you want to say. So it's going to be kind of a support group to help people who want, or at the stage of, I'm at the stage A, how do I do to get to stage B? I'm at stage B, how do I get to stage C? So that is why I opted for a Telegram live, because if you Zoom, after the section ends, there is no support group to support people who want to get more information. People want maybe in school, in the same school, want how to get your HOD or to get some documents, to get some certification. So at this point, I want to just welcome everybody. I find it is a privilege to live whatever you want to do. I know, yes, I'm happy with information, but it's an honor to make a call and you see people coming to listen to you. I want to appreciate you all. If nobody came to this program will not be taking place. So, but I want to appreciate the 71 persons I can see that are online. I want to appreciate every other person that we join later. I want to appreciate those who share this link. So, before I call on our guests, please, share the link on your WhatsApp status. You can share the link on your Facebook. You can share the link on your Twitter. You can share the link everywhere. All the groups you belong to, you can share it in your network so that the issue of somebody, like why I'm just hammering on sharing is so that I know some persons will get my number, and at the time I was in the US, some persons they felt reluctant, they got my number, they would have to now come to your inbox asking questions. But I think if you can share it so that the larger percentage of persons, we have 584 members and we have 80 online. So I believe you can just send a reminder to those who are not online to kindly join us. So I believe my host is online. MLS Johnson. We met on LinkedIn. I communicated to him for a section. He agreed. From there, he did a tweet about the process of going to Ireland. All you need to know, what you need to do, things you should not do. So I started him in. I went to his inbox and to his DM. I really appreciate his humility. I really appreciate his love for the profession. I really appreciate his like, he gave me all the ears. He gave me attention as time I needed it. He gave me everything. Like, this section could have happened last week. When I told him we've changed it from last week, he said no problem. People, no problem. I'm going to be available. So I want to appreciate him for finding time to join us this night. So MLS Johnson is joining us from Dublin, Ireland. MLS Johnson practiced in Nigeria. He's a biomedical scientist, and he left a federal job. For some of you who are holding federal job tight, he left a federal job for a greener pasture. So at this point, I want to welcome MLS Johnson to take over from me and put us through on what we need to know about kickstarting our journey to Ireland. So MLS Johnson, please take over. Thank you, sir. Welcome. Unmute yourself, Emile Johnson. Your mic is muted.
I'm sorry. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir. Welcome, sir.
Before I begin, Febo, how, for instance, if the participants are not actually hearing what we're saying, how would they make a note of it? Can they drop a message that they are not hearing us?
Yes, the chat box, please. If you are hearing us, kindly drop an emoji. You're hearing us. Ifeanyi, I beg, disable that settings. Let anybody can drop message now. Please, kindly disable that settings. Yeah, Emily Johnson, they can hear us clear, loud.
Okay.
Yes, they are dropping a message that they can hear us, so you can fire us now. Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm not thinking. First of all, I want to appreciate you, Febo, for
thank you, sir,
taking this responsibility on your head and constantly reaching out. I know it is the love for the profession that pushes you and keep on pushing you to do this for our comrades, our brothers, and our sisters. And on second note, I want to thank the participants who deemed it necessary to come and listen to us talk. I was not, when you mentioned that you were going to organize this, I was like, who am I to talk to? You know, I'm looking at the number of participants now listening to me. But then, this evening is not going to be a waste of time for each and every one of us.
Sure.
And I wouldn't waste much of our time. I know some of us may have one or two things to do this evening, and I'll allow you to do that. I'll make it brief. Today is not a day for us to complete everything you need to know. Today is an introduction. It is networking. And just like Favor mentioned earlier, the network are solid when it concerns doctors and nurses. And before I forget, I know that the people in this group that are listening to us may not only be medical laboratory scientists.
Yes, yeah, correct.
We may have technicians, we may have doctors, we may have microbiologists and other professions. The truth is that everyone likes greener pasture. But the truth is, it is not easy.
Yes.
And it is easier when you have a mentor. It is easier when you have someone putting you through. It is easier when you have a shoulder to lean on when you need an information. It is much, much easier. Now, I have recognized your presence, even though I cannot see each and every one of you, and I thank you for coming to listen to me. My name is Johnson Onyeke. I graduated from University of Nigeria Enugu campus, 2013. And I worked briefly in UNTH before I left country. I actually left Nigeria 1st of September last year. So I'm still very much fresh. So,
but you can't say you're JJC, or you can, or should you say you're JJC?
I'm still a JJC. I don't even have a resident permit yet. So until
But you have a working permit, so
yeah,
there's a permit somewhere.
yeah, I do. So let me go straight. I know there are categories of people in this group. The first categories of people are perhaps those that have not heard about medical scientists going to Ireland. This may be their first opportunity because all of us knew UK, US, and a fraction of us happen to know about Australia. But believe you me, UK, Australia, and Ireland are just, how many countries have I mentioned? So there are other countries that one has to exploit. But today we're talking about Ireland. I also know there are a group of people that have started this process. They are here to know how it will be easier for them. I know there are a group of people that are deep. They have gotten their license. They have their issue is interviews. Some may not have gotten invite for interviews. Some may have gotten one or two interviews, but they are not succeeding. These are stages, and each stage is not so sweet. I must say it. When you have maybe the time you saw the flyer, how to migrate to Ireland and all that, it is not easy thing, but we'll make it easier if you are really interested and you want to ask questions. We want to be like other professionals who carry their members along. In as much as I'm alive, because I love the profession, and I think that is what is feeding me today, and I'm okay. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So the first thing for Ireland, if you want to migrate to Ireland, just like you want to go to market, you will have to take your bath, right?
Yes, sir.
So the first thing you must do is to make sure you clear yourself with MLSCN.
Very important. So that's the first thing.
If you are going MLSCN a penny, forget it. You are not going anywhere. I understand that the practice in our country and in terms of the money involved is not really something to go home about, especially when most of us are earning 30,000 and less in some cities. If you are earning 70,000 naira as a medical scientist, you're a big boy or a big girl. That is the truth. But if you are really considering this serious, I must let you know that start now. Forget about this, our talk show. Go and clear MLSCN, have our contacts, and come back when you have cleared it. You are going to get frustrated if you are going to MLSCN. There's no way of running about it. You must be in a good standing with MLSCN. I know the charges compared to what you are paying is unfair, but sometimes you have to face the reality.
Yes.
Some of us borrow money to pay for a license, and it is a pity. In short, if country is good, who will be thinking about leaving? Nobody, unless for other purposes. That is number one. If you clear with MLSCN, then you get your international passport. That's one of the things you are recognized with. I've made some tweets about it. Getting international passport is going to spend money. That is the truth. You are going to spend money. And before I forget this, don't make this a do or die affair. If you think you want to get this year, you will just be putting yourself into unnecessary pressure. If you have not done anything at this moment we are speaking, and your intention is to make sure you get everything this year and enter Ireland this year, you are putting yourself into undue pressure. Maybe before the end of the period allotted to me, I might share a little part of my experience, if I'm permitted, so that you understand that it is not so rosy.
You are permitted. You have all the time, sir.
Because the truth is that most times you don't know what goes behind the scene.
Yeah.
That's the truth. Nobody knows what is going behind the scene. There are a lot of effort that is put behind. Until somebody the person travels, you're like, hey, he or she is lucky. I believe in luck. But, there are things that you have to position yourself to get lucky sometimes.
Of course.
So, I've mentioned that the first thing is that once you clear yourself with MLSC and you are not owing them and get your international passport, you are good to start. Now, whatever you are saying here, we won't be able to, because once you log into the page, Koru page, you will click, they will tell you to click another link. You will click for 5 minutes, you don't even know where to start. You don't know the button to click for recognition. So sometimes you need someone to guide you to make it easier for you.
Mr. Johnson, just sorry to cut you short. You mentioned Kuru. Just explain. You know, some persons is their first time of hearing Kuru.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So Koru, Coru, is the body that regulates the practice of medical lab science. They call it medical scientist.
Okay, sir.
Just like in UK, they call it biomedical
Biomedical
science.
science.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So they are the body, just like it's the same thing as MLSCM. The function of Koru is the same thing with the function of MLSCM. The only difference is that Koru regulates radiography, physiotherapy, med lab, and a whole lot of other professions. I hope that is understood.
Yeah, it is understood. Yeah, I believe it's
Now,
understanding.
Now, let me tell us the stages for you to be satisfied a medical scientist here in Ireland. The first thing is your degree. You graduated from UniJOS, you graduated from UNN, you graduated from UNIZIC, you graduated from Lagos State or UNILAG. Which university you graduated from? Kuru here has to recognize that what you were taught in that university, the content, the quality, the clinical posting, is equivalent to what they teach their own medical scientists here. And how would they do that? You will do a lot of filling of form, because the information, you are not there physically for them to interview you. So it is the information you put on paper that they will use to compare the standard they have here before they say, okay, the council will sit and debate, look at the paper you have presented and say, okay, looking at the paper that Favor has presented, we know that he deemed necessary for us to recognize his qualification in Nigeria. It's not like you want to join PDP as a party. When you come, they will look and say, hey, my name is Dilo Malai. They also, okay. We recognize the presence of Dilo Malai and do a lot of underground work. At the end of the day, they say, okay, we recognize him in our party. That doesn't mean that he has become a party member. He is just being recognized from underground check they've done. So this is similar. So when they finish the recognition process, the recognition has its own process, documents you submit. And believe you me, if you make a mistake, and before I forget, if you make a mistake in your name, in one of your documents, in the other document, you're answering Chibuzo, and that Chibuzo ends in O or with O. Another place you wrote Chibuzo, it ends with R. They will question it. You may think they don't read everything you have written. They take their time to go through it. I brought this name issue because it's affected one of my friends. And the more they keep on telling you to correct this issue, the longer it will take. If you go to their website, they will tell you can take up to 4 months, which means recognition and registration take 4 months. That is 8 months. Is 1 year not almost ending?
So, Mr. Johnson, let me cut you short. Sorry to cut you short. So there are 2 basic stages in registering with Kuru. You've explained what Kuru is all about, how their function and the profession they regulate. So there is 2 stages: the registration and the water.
The first step is recognition.
Recognition that takes 4 months. Then the next stage is water.
Registration.
So that's 8 months, so that people can just get it clear.
Yeah. So
that 8 months, sorry. That 8 months means that your document, everything is intact.
It's intact. Yeah.
Yes.
And let me put in. Let me say this. It can be shorter.
Okay, sir.
Like the council have their time of sitting to look at the document that have been submitted.
Okay.
For instance, if they sit at the end of every 3 months, those of them every 3 months, and if you submit at that particular month, they are sitting. It means that your document may not stay up to 3 or 4 months before it is approved. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But if they are going to sit in the next 3 months and you submit today, That means they're not
You
going to
wait.
look
You
at
wait.
it.
You wait till when they sit again.
Yeah, see when they sit. So sometimes people become afraid that they have not responded to me. Are you sure they received my application?
Yeah.
So I'm not going into the process of when you log into Koru, scroll down to where they wrote international recognition, click. When you click, scroll down to where those things are something we can do when you are ready. Because I know a lot of it is not easy. Where do you have the money? It's not easy. So some of us, I'm urging you that if you are really interested, you start saving and get connected to some of these guys that have traveled out. Sometimes you don't even need to charge them. You don't need to be friends with them. We don't need that I'm talking to you. We don't need to be friends. If you ask me for information, it is my own responsibility to provide it to you and go my way because that is just what you need. Full stop. So if you finish recognition and finish registration, the next thing, once you get your a medical scientist number, they will give you a number, and that number is unique, just like every medical lab science has a registration number. They will give you a registration number, which will be uploaded in the internet. In short, if you go to Code website and search my name, you will see my name there. It is in the public domain. Just under medical scientist, you search my name, you will see it. So everybody registered is there. It is not hidden. So if you claim that you are...
Sorry, can I cut you short?
Please do.
You know, we need to be taking this small.
I'm sorry.
You've now reached PIN number. So at recognition stage, what are the documents do we need to submit? Do we need to make ready? You've mentioned, I know you have to be good starting with MLSN. I have to have an international passport. So what are the documents? Can we have a list of the documents that we need to make available? We need transcripts.
Yeah.
Do we need our statement of or is it degree certificates? Do we need bank statements? The documents we need. So we itemize it because after this, I also put a summary of how some persons can maybe at a glance can know what to do.
Yeah, I don't have it offhand, but I will list them here because I have it in my system.
No problem. We are fine. We are good. So
okay. The first document is your degree certificate, which you got from your university. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, sir.
You have your degree certificate. You have your transcripts from the university. I will talk about transcripts. You have your recommendation letter from your previous work places. Are you noting it down?
Yeah, I'm noting it down, sir.
Yeah. You have your recognition form. This form is, you have to get it from, this is one of the forms you will get when you start the process. So there's no need for us to delve into it much now. Then you have evidence of your registration as a medical laboratory scientist in Nigeria. That evidence of registration is that thing they used to give us once you finish your NYSC and go to council.
Yes, that one they write an associate member or restart. Exactly. The money give us too. So
yeah.
Okay.
Now we have Kuru payment receipt where you pay, you generate a receipt. That receipt is part of the document. You can hear me, right?
Yeah, I'm hearing you very well, sir.
Another document they need is practicing license up to date. You see where I said you are not going to cancel anything. So you have to get practicing license up to date. The next thing is proof of English. I think this is one of the questions a lot of people have asked. We'll still talk about it. Proof of English. You need international passport, CPD certificates, then your university curriculum. Now, I've mentioned this document that you need, and let me talk about one of them, which a lot of people have reached out to ask what exactly how they will go about it, and that is proof of English language. I don't know if they are still listening to us.
Okay, please, if you can hear us, please just drop a message in the chat box so that we can know that you're on the same page. Just drop a message. If you can hear us, please kindly drop a message letting us know you can hear us, please. Some of you are already asking questions. Don't ask now. I will bring you live. You will come live and ask questions, and you answer us. So it's more of interactive and connecting and networking with colleagues. So, Mr. Johnson, they can hear you clearly. You can see your screen. You can see messages coming up. Like they can hear us very clearly.
They can hear me.
That's why I choose Telegram. Telegram is very nice compared to other ones. So they
Okay.
can hear us very well. So just take your time and continue explanation, sir.
Okay. So I was talking about English language, proof of English language.
Okay, sir.
If I have written IELTS, fine and good. But one of the reasons most of us choose this pathway is because of English language. They accept the one from the university. In short, I have prepared for IELTS several times, but I didn't have the liver to face it. You know, like when I was looking for to do my masters in the UK.
Okay, sir.
So at the moment, policies change, policies and procedure change. But at the moment, they accept proof of English language written from their university. And they have two things they look out for in that proof of English language. Without it, the grammar you will speak, they will deny it. Because my own, they rejected it. And that is why I'm talking to you, and I know what they're looking for. So, the context of that proof of English is categorized into two. With other sweeteners, they will, the lecturer or whatever will add, they must show that you were trained in English language medium. That is one clause. The second clause is that you practice in English language medium.
Okay.
No matter whatever they have written, 3 pages, 1 page.
So
because
that two phrases must be there.
Must be there. You are practicing in English language medium, and you were taught in English language medium. Now, some of us that come from University of Nigeria, we already have a template. Most of us don't bother. You just go to your department and they will give it to you. Change some few things. Some people, other universities that may not have someone that passed through the school. If you are the first person that may be doing this in your school, the essence of this program is for you to network, ask questions. How did you do it? Please, can you tell me, so that when I go to my department, I will tell them that this is how to write it.
How to write it, yeah.
This is one of the reasons we should be here. I think that English language, people will say, must I write IELTS? You must not write. And some of us from University of Nigeria, you will discover that there is English language. When you want to apply for your transcript, you can apply for transcript for English. So I think it is 5,000. That one, they may accept it during recognition.
Okay.
But they will not accept it during registration.
Okay.
So, in order not to have rejection at every stage, make sure you have the one that will be accepted for both recognition and registration.
Okay.
Take your time, gather all the documents, all the information that you need, and send it once. And go and relax. If you are working somewhere, the patient, I know sometimes it is not easy working in some private laboratory.
Yes.
Before I forget, because in my language they say that if a madman is talking, another thought will enter his head. You understand? So before I forget this, please make peace with whoever you are working with from today, because you need him or her tomorrow. I repeat,
make peace.
They are underpaying you. Agreed. They are overworking you. Fine. You want to leave. Find a good means to live on a neutral ground, so that when you go back to need them for recommendation letter or prove that you have worked with them, they can easily give it to you. You may not appreciate this until it's come to that stage. And when you forge any document, what betide you if they discover? Things you may think they don't. The money you pay is the money they use for their investigation, for their inquiry. They make calls, they send emails. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So please, I know. I am hot-tempered too, and I have worked in a place that this thing I'm saying, I didn't obey it. But I'm telling you out of experience now that you should not toe that path, especially if you want to live through this process. And you don't even have, you are not working in some good private lab that have good management system or in a federal established system that nobody, not single person can actually witch hunt you. You can be the owner of your own lab, but we will talk about that later. So I've mentioned English language proficiency, that you can get it from your university. That one is done. Some people ask about, what about CPD certificate? Is it compulsory?
I was about asking that. Let's know.
Yeah. Some people ask, is it compulsory? Go to the website. It is there. It is a requirement. And you are saying, is it compulsory? No, it is not. By the time you submit your document, and after 3 months, they will come back and ask you, please, can you submit evidence of your CPD? They will see the next 3 months. That is making it 6 months. Some ask, how do I get CPD certificate? Now, MLSCN organizes, MLSCN or AMSON used to organize workshop that carry CPD points, and they used to give certificate of participation. But I know most of those workshops, first, they could be expensive compared to our salary. Second, the private lab you are working with may not permit you to even attend, because we know ourselves. Third, you may not be interested in attending, but now you know that it is one of those things that you might need. Now, apart from MLSCM, is there another way that you can get CPD? There are some online courses. CDC train. You do some courses, they will give you CPD. Sometimes it requires that you pay for them to give you the certificate. My dear, if you remember how much you paid to become a medical scientist, you struggled for 5 years paying for this material, paying for it. You have to, as a necessity, especially towards the time you will submit your document, at least you get 2 or 3. That shows CPD is continuous professional development. So are you telling me that you are not developing yourself professionally? And then be fine, forget. Do you think they will hire you based on sentiments? You lie you. They are hiring you as an international expert if you don't know. They employ you and it takes them months before they finish processing your paper and all that. Do you think they will come and employ anyhow person? No. Even in as much as I believe we will still have much time another time, or we'll chat, or we'll talk again on this platform, because whether you like it or not, I cannot exhaust what I would like to tell you today.
Yes, Mr. Johnson, we just want to water the grass so that some persons can know where they can start from. Yeah. So please, in case you are just joining us now, we are discussing kickstarting your journey to Ireland with MLS. Johnson Onyeka is a Nigerian. He left the shores of Nigeria to Ireland to practice as a medical scientist, as they are called in Ireland. And he has told us a few things, ranging from what you need to have. And he started by, in fact, he said as a warning, he must be in good terms with MLSCN. He must have an international passport. There are 2 stages that is involved, the recognition stage and the registration stage. And he made mention of not making any mistake in your name or anything in your document. I know money will be involved according to him, but we need to see it. And he made mention of the documents you need to have ready, which include your degree certificate, the transcript, the commission letter, the recognition form, which you print from the Kuru site, evidence of registration, the Kuru receipt or the amount you paid. So probably he will tell us the amount you will pay at the cost of his lectures. Then your current practicing license, your proof of English language proficiency, which you will get from the university. Also, he will tell us to know, are you getting from a registrar or from the department or from the dean or the faculty or from any lecturer that can give it to us. He will also tell us then your international passport. And just before I just took over from him, he was explaining the CPD certifications and where you can get it. You can get it from MLSCF, from AMSIN, from YMLSF, so even Guild of Medical Lab. Some other professional bodies are organizing CPD programs. Then the university curriculum, they should know that whatever you studied, your clinical posting and everything must tally with their training in Ireland. So in case you're just joining us now, I still remain your humble host, Favour Nadi, and my co-host, Ifeanyi Chukwu, is being fine. Is the one at the back end dropping messages and letting you know that the section is being recorded. So sometimes I know some of you are partnering with network, but the section is being recorded. But however, we still have to save the video before we make it public after the event. So probably within the next 48 hours or 72 hours, we'll make the video available that you can be able to watch. So Emilio Johnson, sorry to take that time, but I need to just rewind or just let people who are just joining us know how far we've gone so that they can be on the same page with us. Thank you very much. I can continue, sir.
No problem. I think this is a family meeting, so there's no need to. It's not
problem.
only politicians that have a town hall meeting.
Thank you for understanding, sir. I'm grateful. Thanks for understanding. I'm grateful.
No worry yourself. And let me kind of recap, if possible. Perhaps before, if I could drop it as like a summary.
Yeah, he will. He's taking notes. He's taking notes.
Okay, the first thing is recognition.
Yeah.
Second thing is registration. Third thing is job application. Fourth thing is interview. Fifth thing is
Japa.
No, it has not reached Japa.
Okay, Japa.
Yeah. After interview, the next thing is, if you succeed, next thing is work permit and visa application. Do you understand? Another thing is booking of flight. And the last thing is the departure. Let me repeat myself for emphasis.
Okay, sir.
Recognition.
Okay.
Registration.
Okay.
Job application.
Okay.
Interview.
Okay.
Visa application. Work permit application / visa application.
Okay.
Booking of flight. And the actual departure. You see these stages, none of them is easy. Booking of flight, it is that you have succeeded to book flight, my dear. If you are like me that have never traveled, you will reach a place you say,
I've not traveled too.
Yeah.
So
what I'm trying to tell you is that these things need somebody to guide you.
Yeah. Understand.
I have an experience myself. Do you understand? But just like today is just like an introduction. I believe we will talk more, chat in this group. As I have a lot of people, I've seen some questions, but I believe at the question time, if I should be able to organize it so that I will answer them one by one. Please, anybody that brought question, definitely it will be answered, and that is why we are here. And if we feel that we have really spent so much time, we could stop it. The essence of this for us to understand the data we can talk today, we can schedule another time. Okay, you understand? So I made a list of what is required. I've talked about English language proficiency and what is it called? And CPD certificate. I don't think, is there another item in that list that may require a little explanation? Let me check.
Yes. One is, how much are you paying for the registration? How much are we paying for the recognition first? How much are we paying for registration? Then how do they go to receipts? How do you make payments? I can remember when I was doing my ACPC, I had to send the email they sent to me, someone who's in UK. The person paid with his card there and I transferred to his Naira account. So, can somebody pay from Nigeria? What's the payment mode of how can we make payments? You understand? So, those things.
Let me explain. Yeah. The amount for recognition. So how much is everything in total?
Okay. Some person's blood can be hot. Just take it small. Then as we are closing, just totally people cannot know how much they should be looking at. But there's something you said at the beginning. You said we must savings.
Yeah. So, the recognition is €410.
Come again, sir. 410.
410 euros. Can you hear me?
No, my people say it's better if you're talking in Naira, but we'll convert it. Don't worry.
No, don't worry. I've said they've understood that I mentioned €410, right?
€10. Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, how do you go about it? There is a challenge here for us in Nigeria. I think the Central Bank of Nigeria placed an embargo that you cannot spend more than $100 from your card. I think that is per month. And it becomes a problem for most of us. How do you do it? You find someone that is here to help you do that. You pay him or her the equivalent of Naira. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Apart from that, it is not that price you go and Google.
That normally comes out. There's black market. Most people don't know.
For instance, let me be clear here so that there's no sentiment.
Yes.
If you are going to do this is pure business. It is not a bego. It is black market. And if I'm sending money to Nigeria, it is that rate that I'm sending money to Nigeria that I will give you if I have the money.
Okay.
It is clear. Nobody will, if the, what is it called? We have black market, and what is the one that's done by federal government? Official,
FX.
Official, this. Nobody will give it to you here. Because if I want to send 100 euro to my people, and you want to give me the equivalent in Naira, and went to official market, I'm the one losing.
Yes.
Now, the last time I checked, 1 euro is equivalent to 625 Naira.
Wow. Come again, sir. 600 what?
The last time I checked, it fluctuates.
Yeah.
It is 625 Naira to 1 euro. So if you are paying 410 euro, you check the rate of conversion at that particular day you are paying.
Okay.
If it is 600 Naira,
can you do the calculation and drop it on the group, please, so that people can
Yes,
know?
I'm on it.
Okay. Thank you. I trust you, sir. Okay, Mr. Johnson, you can continue, sir.
okay, that's just it. What I'm trying to say is that you need someone that will be able to pay for you here. Of course, I have someone that had similar payments not quite long ago. Somebody has to help me do the payment. That's just the only solution for now. Unless the federal government tomorrow lifts the embargo, then you can pay direct. Because when I did my registration, I did everything with my Naira account. So they just deducted the euro equivalent before the embargo. So I didn't have any issue. So that should tell you that it has been a long time I did this.
Yeah. It has been a long time, sir, actually.
So I don't think there's any other document there that need clarification. Is there any?
You've said it, but this receipt of Kuru of receipt for Kuru, how do that one go? How do you go about that one?
It is something. Kuru receipt is when you pay. The receipt will be generated and sent to you through the email.
Okay.
It is part of the document to tell them that you have paid. Without it, how would they know who paid the money?
Okay.
It's just like when you do for your MLSL registration, they usually send it to our mail. Is it not true?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is a similar thing. It's the same document that you submit, evidence that you are the one that paid. So if someone is paying for you, the person will use your name.
Okay.
And not use his or her name here. Do you understand?
Okay.
I think that is clear enough.
Okay.
So I don't know if
you've dealt with the requirements, sir.
Okay. Now I think it is better I point these out.
Okay.
That we've talked about registration. Recognition. Once you are recognized, the chances that you will be denied registration is really close to zero. Meaning that once you are recognized, you go and drink beer. Because some of the documents that you submit during your registration, you have submitted it during your recognition.
Okay.
Do you understand?
So in registration, you will submit documents again, or the one you submitted?
Some of them, you will still submit documents during registration.
Okay.
Some of them you submitted it during recognition.
Okay.
Do you understand? Then part of the document you submit during your registration is a recognition form.
Okay.
Because if you are recognized, they will give you evidence of your recognition. So that recognition form is part of what you submit for registration.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So there's no need of dwelling into the details of both recognition and registration in depth. We have to know the overview
Okay, sir.
of what we need at this particular point in time. Now, having had a little knowledge about registration and recognition and registration, if you have been registered, what is the next thing? You start looking for a job, right?
Yeah, start applying for work. So are there, sorry to cut up, are there websites? Is it LinkedIn? What are the websites one can look into for job applications? Because I know in this group, and as a person that have, like when you started the program, you say that there are categories of persons who are listening to us. There are persons who have done it, who are about to, or who just finished, you understand, or who just want to create a document. So I believe that I'm a person that have passed the first stage. So I know, so that we balance it so that they also get to know what to do for the next stage. So just continue from there, sir.
Yeah. Fortunately, I've written this on my Twitter handle.
Yes. So just to
So
cut this short, if I please just get his Twitter handle, get his LinkedIn handle. While he's talking, just make a post for persons or everybody here to vote. We have 665 members and we have 144 persons watching us live. So please, we believe this conversation will continue on the social media handles, or maybe one-on-one, or whichever way you can get some information. The informations are like, if you go to Twitter, there's a thread he did that is very, very detailed. That's why I just emphasize, just get some more clarification. If you go through that thread, you may not be able to explain anything to you. So please, if I just get his Twitter handle, get his LinkedIn profile, and drop it us. You can drop mine too and drop yours too. So let's connect on the streets of social media so that we can be able to get more information and share information among us. So if we are waiting for that. So MLS Johnson, let's continue.
Okay. The website, and I'll tell you my experience.
Okay, sir.
Looking for job can be frustrating. I want you to hear it. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
It can be frustrating. But if you have a shoulder you can lean on when you are looking for a job, somebody that will encourage you, somebody that will give you some tips, it will help. Now, we have about 4 places we look for jobs as a medical scientist. Number 1
4
is
places. Okay.
we have acslm.ie. acslm.ie.
IE. Okay.
Yeah, IE. If you log onto that website, you will click the place they wrote jobs. acslm.ie. If you log onto the website, you will see membership area, you see news, you see jobs. Just click on jobs.
Okay.
If you click on jobs, you will see all the adverts. I used to frequent that place almost every morning because they used to advertise frequently. You always see job advertised. You may check one, maybe in the next 2 hours, you go back there, you see 5 jobs advertised. And let me tell you, if you're applying job at the moment, they may say that the deadline for job application is in 2 weeks' time. And maybe you are busy, you say, okay, since it is 2 weeks, let me wait, I will apply next week. We discovered that before the end of that 2 weeks, they have already invited some people for interview.
Are you serious? Wow.
So it is better that as the advert is
dropping it,
apply.
So is that option of you can click for a newsletter, like once they drop advert, they can just send email to you. You can say, okay, a job update. Is there option
that
for
is
that?
There is another platform. I just mentioned one, which is acslm.ie. ACSLM actually was the former body that regulated the practice of medical scientists here.
All right.
Before Kuru took over recently. So there's the place you want to be notified when there's advert is irishjobs.ie.
Irish jobs.
Yeah, irishjobs.ie. So under irishjobs.ie, you subscribe for the job you are looking for. This one, Irish job, you can be a mechanical engineer looking for a mechanical engineering job. You subscribe for mechanical engineering. So, but here you are subscribing for medical scientific job. But it is not every job advertised at acslm.ie that are being advertised under Irish jobs.
Irish jobs, okay.
Do you understand? So that's why we keep on. We have books.
Yeah, because I know Irish jobs like it's complex, but that ACSLM is just specifically for
medical scientists.
Yeah.
So I've mentioned 2 places to look for job. Now another place to look for job is hse.ie.
hse.ie. Okay.
Yeah. Under hse.ie, they advertise job for nurses, scientists, Favor go and eat.
No, 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 no. Go on.
And a lot of other professionals.
Okay.
So when you enter HSE website, you will see a column where you can be asked to search anything you want to search. Because the website is a bit complex. If you don't know how to go about it, you'll be confused.
You got confused, yeah.
Yeah. So you will type there social social and healthcare professionals. Sorry, care and social I'm forgetting what was it? Social care. Yeah, social care and health professionals. The professional has to be plural. Care and social care, health and social care professionals. If you enter there, yeah, if you enter there, it will take you directly to where they're advertising for med lab, nurses, radiographers.
Exactly.
So if you be scrolling down, they'll be telling you the job advertised there. Then the fourth stage is you go to Google, you type list of hospitals in Ireland. They will list all the hospitals for you. You click each hospital, you enter their website, you go to their career page and check if there is vacancy. Because any vacancy they advertise everywhere is always on the hospital career page.
Website, okay.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So it is very excruciating something that you have to settle. So it doesn't end that you are now a registered medical scientist. I don't know if that is okay.
You should pack your bag and start going.
Yeah.
So
Now, you want to say something?
now what I'm saying is that I am enjoying this section that you are being frank with us. Some person who just paint it like you want to Java, just get registration, apply for work, get work, move and leave Nigeria. It's not as easy. So I like that everybody will have open-minded and brings up the challenge on time and know how to be able to overcome the time. You understand? So I'm very grateful. I appreciate that sincere level of sincerity. So continue.
So next stage is you have known where to apply for the job.
Yes, sir.
You can apply for 30 jobs, no single invitation. Nobody will invite you for interview. How will you feel?
Mr. Rosely, if I tell you my story,
So
there's no day I don't get rejection email.
So what I'm trying to say is that
Yeah.
there's no need of painting it to give you false impression.
Yes.
But the truth is that if you have someone telling you what to do, it becomes easier. I'm not telling you that I'm that someone. I'm not telling you to come to me, but I'm just being frank. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
You may have all the necessary skills as a medical lab scientist, but your CV is preventing you from being invited for interview.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And again, you might have a good CV, very well tailored, and you'll be having loads of invites, and you are failing them. I think I had more than 50 invitations.
Are you serious? Like you attended 15 interviews?
No, I had more than 50 invites. COVID-19 actually
Opened. Yeah, I understand.
COVID-19 helped me and a lot of us in the sense that initially, when they invite me for interview, they will tell me to come to their country. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So they were inviting me, but they were turning me down. I'll ask them to use Zoom. They say, unfortunately, they are not in a position to organize a Zoom interview.
Oh.
Then the one that at the end of the day allowed Zoom interview, I failed woefully.
Bro, that's my first time, so you need to know what is required to.
Yeah.
Kind of.
But the truth is that in all this, just like we're providing information, someone that provided this information is my class rep in the university. He was the one that brought this information to me and other members of our class. Do you understand? The truth is that when he dropped the message, most of us did not really believe in him. I did not believe in him. That's not the truth.
Yeah.
So he has to check me, say, okay, apply for this. I said, he said, yes. I was working in Mina. He helped me. At a time, I will stop application. 2 months, he will call, say, how far? I said, nah. He said, see, there is an advert. Go to SSLM and apply. They just advertise. Go and apply now.
I'll go and apply. I'll continue. He kept on until just one. And that's his fault. But along the line,
Okay.
I discovered a friend. Do you understand?
Okay.
Who now gave me some tidbits in terms of how to answer interview questions.
Wow.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Now you are in Nigeria, and they tell you, hey, favor, please, can you tell me how to process urine sample? You say we play.
What guy is a Nigerian? A Nigerian?
My dear. And
You fail.
unfortunately, there are things I will not say here anyway.
Yeah, I understand.
So, but before I forget, just know that if you're a medical lab scientist in Nigeria and you are practicing, you are confident in yourself, forget it. When you come here, you excel. The
Because
difference
there's a working system.
apart from the working system, if you have the knowledge, the theoretical knowledge, the only major difference between ours and theirs is that they are sincere, they are transparent. If they say you must do quality control on gram stain, there is someone that is responsible. It must be done. It must be checked. This one is not that. The last time I did quality control in gram stain was last year or 2 weeks. You must do it because your lab is accredited, and you cannot joke with accreditation here. I don't know if you're getting it. So,
Yes,
and it is not speaking grammar. There are things they need from you. And as you are saying those things, they are noting it down. As they have looked at your qualification to know if it matches the standard obtained here, they approve it by registering you. They expect that there are things you're supposed to know. And believe you me, we know it. It's just that we don't know how to put it. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Please, I want to make this thing clear for some of us that probably are having interviews. One of the interviews, they asked me, what is Newcastle Walk Up? Newcastle, that I know is a club. I don't know what is Newcastle.
This is serious.
Yeah, what is Newcastle Walk Up? And that was in a chemistry interview. When I was,
Okay, just finish what I'm saying. Let me come in.
it was obvious that this guy doesn't know anything about what they're talking about. They'll say, okay, it's okay, Mr. Johnson, let's move on to the next question. I have failed, though. At the end of the day, they thanked me for attending the interview.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, and they sent me.
They sent you a love letter.
Exactly.
A love letter.
So, if you are preparing to Java, first of all, you need to read.
Yes, I have research.
You need some things. There are some websites you need to enter and read and understand what is obtainable and how to apply during interview and how to build your CV.
But Mr. Johnson, sorry to cut you short. So I want us to go to the next stage. After job application, I've gotten maybe a positive response. And how do I get to work permit? After work permit, ticket booking, the movement. So, but before you go there, there's some persons that are asking questions, and I have it in mind, but I think it escaped my memory. You made mention of 410 euros for the recognition. Then, do we also pay for registration? If we pay for registration, how much do we pay?
Okay, yeah, we pay for everything.
Right. This money is becoming more too.
Yeah, well, this is cheaper. It's 100 euro.
Okay, 100 euro.
Yeah, it's 100
Basically,
euro.
now the two of them joined together is 510 euros.
Yes, but
Okay.
I said what? But that is not the amount of money you need.
Yes, I understand the purpose. I mean, just for that two things. The other, as even to get passport is money. Other things involve that money, you understand? But some persons just want to get categorically what registration and what recognition fees is all about. So just sum it up. So
Yeah, that is 510 euro. Two of them is 510 euro.
Yes, we are on the same page. So I've gotten a job. What's the next stage? How do I get work permit going? Because I know some persons who want to know, okay, life in Ireland, what is the work like? What is the pay? You know, we are Nigerians. That's a side I was saying for you. Let's know how much. I'm not saying you say how much you earn, but what are we looking at? So people want to know.
it is
When
better
you
that
this thing.
yeah. It is good that we know it ahead of time. Some of us may be disappointed. That's why I took out time to write the tweet I made. So if you have gotten a job, there are usually two kinds of job you can get here.
Okay.
Full-time permanent contracts
Okay.
or temporary contract, usually 6 months.
So wait, if it expires, I'll start come back to Nigeria or what?
Uncle,
Hey!
but wait. But wait.
Okay.
Oftentimes, they cannot waste all the resources to bring you here, and at the end of the 6 months, they always renew.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So most times, some of us will forget when once you see 6 months, you don't apply. Do you understand? But
Yes, I
6 months, for the end of the 6 months, they wouldn't like to lose you. If it remains like 3 months, because if you come here and apply for a job, they'll be begging you for interview. Unlike when you're outside. Most of the things that affect the outsider is that you have a lot of competition. You have a lot of competition. So remember that you are in Nigeria does not mean you are the only person applying. One of us, the recruiter in our facility, came from United Arab Emirates, UAE. That means people from UAE are applying. People from Kenya are applying. Even from Russia. One of the new ladies I met when I began work is from Russia. I was like, what are you doing here from Russia? Do you understand? So people they have reason for migrating. Some people have reason why they are going to any country they are going to. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So you have to have some level of theory to be able to tackle the interview. But that is not going to be a bigger problem. Okay. In the sense is that we already have the connection here. We can only help put you through the area you need and how to handle it. Okay. But you have to know it because once you come, there is some little expectation from you.
Yeah.
The truth is that they will train you like a kid. Do you understand? Because they cannot withstand any mistake. And before I forget, you have to be smart. Like on Tuesday this week, we isolated candida. Okay. Not isolated. I did urine microscopy and had candida. Then I cultured it in PDA. Then the next time the senior scientist said, okay, go and do jam2 test. My brother. So if I don't know how to do jam2 test, that is wahala for me. Do you understand? Yeah, but I know how to do. It's part of what I've read. I asked where they kept the plasma I need for jam2 test. They showed me, and I did it. But sometimes when you don't know, you are connected to the internet. Use YouTube quickly.
Sharply. That's being smart.
Yeah. But there are stages when we'll start discussing that.
Yes.
Are you getting what I'm saying? Yes. So for work permit, work permit sometimes takes 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or a month itself. My own took 2 months. Because what they need is for you to bring their documents, the request from you, and they do the work permit on your behalf. And once they send you your work permit, you use the work permit to apply for visa. Okay. The application process is rigorous, so you need someone to still guide you through. You usually go to Abuja or Lagos. These are 2 places where you can apply for your visa. Because you will still go.
What I have in mind is in this group now, subsequent time also have a post registration group whereby those who have already started to get other information on the next step. So we basically want to do a general overview, let the person know what to do, how to get registered, and what they should not do at the point of registration. So after registration, we'll have a post registration group. That's my plan. So we also guide people through on how to make applications, how to prepare for interview, or how to do other things. I may not be actively involved, but I will set a system that can help people to be actively involved. Then also, please, I want to beg all of us who are here. There are some things that personally I wouldn't like to relate. Our guest is trying to make everything as possible in ABC to us. Please, it's not be good just come to his inbox with too many questions. We expect him to answer you every time. He's working, and he's working in a fast-paced environment, and he's working in a system that probably may not be going to work with his phone like we do in Nigeria here or some other thing. So basically, if you can have any information or question, kindly drop it on this chat box so that he can treat it at once at his leisure time, or even if you send him a message, just have patience with him, because that's one of the problem I have with some people. They'll send you a message, they expect you to reply now and then as if you're not doing any other thing. So please, while asking for more information, let's also have it in mind that the other person is working. So MLS Johnson, you can continue, sir.
And I think I've basically touched some areas. This is not a detailed meeting.
Okay.
Some of us may have started forgetting what I said initially.
You know what? All these things, I have a recap, so we will still write it down and paste it there.
And don't worry. Ask questions anytime. It is my responsibility to answer you. The only thing is that don't have patience, please.
Yes, that patience. That's what I'm saying.
Why I'm saying this is that I was frustrated, but it's someone that helped me. So it is my responsibility to help others who are coming after me. But let me ask you, if you have not really gotten some of this information, you don't have your international passport, you have not requested for your transcript. Before I forget this, some people ask, the transcript, must it be sent from your school directly to Koru, or can you give them your own copy? I gave them my own copy. I think there was sometimes that the school could not respond. They send them email. You know, sometimes how we do our own thing, they don't read email. So, but most of the people I know use their.
You are lucky. UNN can give you transcripts. Yeah. My school.
Yeah.
Let me not say it in public. You need to go and put chaplet in water.
Yeah, but there is a way you can get it. I know even I can give you direct, but you can use. I was doing my NYSC in Castina when I requested for my transcript. I requested it through my office, and they sent it to my office. So you might not pose as the one requesting for it. Some of these things you have to be smart.
Yes.
Where you are working for can actually, if you are in a good term with them, request for a transcript. If your school find it difficult giving it to you, your boss in your office can actually request for it. Your school will send it to you.
Okay, then you cannot have it and
Yeah, then you cannot have it. And if your school doesn't delay in responding to transcript, then you allow code to contact them direct and have it. But if they delay, start now. I got my transcript in when I was concluding my NYSC 2016.
Okay, sir.
Though then I was planning to do my master's in UK. Now, unfortunately, I did not succeed in getting 100% scholarship, and here I am today. Do you understand? Well, some of these things is that you have a long plan. It will be very difficult if you just want to do everything now. Just relax.
No. Yeah.
If you are working, the only thing is that you notice those people that you may need their information. Go and write their name somewhere. Write their contact. If it is number, if it is Facebook page, if it is Twitter handle, write it somewhere. Go and see. When you need them, contact them. You guys don't need to be friends. That thing you need, get it from that person. Find your way. You don't need to chat personally me. You don't need to ask me every morning how is work going for me to help you when the need comes. No. Anytime you want it, in as much as my life, but if you have patience, you can drop, because work here is very hectic. Before I forget, if you're not ready to work, it will be very difficult for you to succeed here. Because you have a responsibility, and if you want penny you get here, you must work for it. I know some facilities when we go to work, we will gist for hours, speak on phone for many hours, and go home. If you don't do call, I know where we will not do call, but we will receive call allowance. Someone will say, what is the extra money? Extra money comes with calls and bank holidays. Bank holidays is nothing but what we call public holidays in Nigeria. Okay. So if they place you, if what they are paying you per hour is 100 euro, on bank holidays is multiplied by 2 or multiplied by 1.5, depending on the policies that involve your facility.
This is just an example. You say, before you think you are receiving 100 euros per hour. It's just an example. Before you start collecting your head, you get 100 euros per hour.
No, actually, you may need to read my what I wrote in Twitter. You have a clearer picture of what I'm saying here, because I did not.
If I can you get the link to that tweet so I can just drop it?
Please, we have questions that we need to attend. People can get tired. We cannot finish everything today.
Okay. Just in 5 minutes, summarize. While you're summarizing, please, if you have any question to ask, if you are confused in anything, just kindly drop your question. So, if you drop a question, we can be able to look at it, then summarize the questions and allow our guests to answer it. So we'll have it in mind that, as he said, you cannot exhaust everything, but at least let you know what you need to get started. So that when you now start, if there's any issue, any trouble, you can just drop the message in this group. We can be able to follow up. So, Mr. Johnson, just 5 minutes summarize. Then, if you have questions, please drop the question. Then, after the event, we'll have a special hangout where you can meet, greet, talk, laugh, and joke. So that's how I do my own webinar. So, Mr. Johnson.
My people, especially those that are not medical lab scientists, are listening to us. I know I'm just fresh here, just like I said. It's not that I've stayed long. So, but we have a longer plan. Do you understand? We have a longer plan. Some technicians have reached me, and I believe there should be an opportunity. It's just that we don't know. So we keep on making research. Do you understand? Like I asked somebody, they say that in the north, there is this profession that they call CHU, community health extension workers. They can work in the UK. So, but I've not really gotten the full gist. I can't write something I cannot defend.
No, you cannot.
You understand? So we're making a plan. Maybe technicians, if they have an opportunity, and how they will go about it. It mustn't be Ireland, be any other country. This group could be a platform where we share knowledge. I will really let you know that, please and please, some students are listening to us.
Yes, I have a lot of them listening to us.
Please don't worry. We are your senior colleagues. We will make things better and easier for you. When the time comes, relax. But while you are relaxing, there is this that I forgot. In your CV, these guys, they don't hate you have stayed for 6 months, you are not working. What were you doing within that period of time? They will ask you to explain the gap. Yeah. Immediately you are graduating, you are expected to
start something.
Do you understand? But the funny thing is that some of us are working in our father's shops. They are selling, the father is selling book, or the mother is selling vegetable. But you don't know that is an experience. And that experience comes with inventory management. Do you understand? So you need to build, you tell you, put this in your CV, because if you come here, there is a lady here, a senior scientist that I'm working with. If you see how she organizes things in the lab, I was like, hey, how do you even know the one that was fired? He said that she worked in a shop. Especially, like a shop, right? Do you know how those people in the shop, how they know the thing that was fired, they will take it out and how they replace them? That is inventory management. Some of us don't even know the reagent we have in our lab has expired. So it is experience. That you're not working in the lab does not mean that where you were, you are not getting experience. You're actually getting it, but you don't know how to put it in your CV. Because inventory management is a skill that every lab scientist should have. You should be able to manage your reagent according to the expiring date and availability of stock. Because it is one of the problems in the lab. Because most times you either have excess of it that will expire. And once it expires, we don't use it.
And lost money.
Yeah. Or you don't have enough of it. And once you don't have enough of it, it will impact on the clinical management of the patient. Imagine you don't have a culture media that you use to culture for urine sample. And that urine sample turn around time in 48 hours. Unless you are outsourcing it. And once you outsource it, it will affect the company's finance, the budget accrued to the lab. So they play down on outsourcing a lot of samples because the laboratory budget will feel the strain. So it is a complex something, though we take a lot of things for granted. So what I want to tell us is that, please, some of us may not have good network to hear us. I'm certain about that. But let the connection be there. Ask question anytime. You will definitely be guided.
All right. I must sincerely appreciate you, Emela Johnson Oneka. I appreciate myself. I appreciate my co-host, Emela Sefani Chuku. I must appreciate the case. We have over 770 persons in this group and more than 150 persons watching us live. I must sincerely appreciate you all from 8 p.m. till now. That's 1 hour, 25 minutes. giving us your time. I must really appreciate us. So please, just in the chat box, just say something nice to our guest. Can you say something nice? Appreciate him for giving us so much value that we didn't pay for. Just say a word of encouragement, a word of appreciation, why he will take some of the questions. So I'll be asking some of the questions they ask. Someone is asking, do we write any situational judgmental test period to interview? Another person is asking, what are the sites we can visit to prepare for interview?
Can we take it one by one?
Okay. Let's
Can you recognize the person that is asking the question? Is it possible? Can you recognize the person that is asking?
Okay. Andrew Igumma. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name very well. Andrew Igumma. He or she asks, do we need to write any situational judgmental test period to interview? So I don't know, should I get on that question or should you answer one by one? Okay, fine. So maybe 30 seconds we can be.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
You don't write any exam before interview. What you can do before interview is that you can ask the interview team to organize what we call pre-test.
Okay.
You tell them, please conduct pre-test for me. The pre-test is for them. They will just within 1 minute, they will do the call to know if they can hear you, to know if you can hear them, to know if your background is okay. Once everything is okay, they'll tell you, all right, see you on interview day. Bye-bye. It's finished. Okay. That's the only thing you can ask. Because some of them will have network problem. I've had interview. Immediately it reached the time for interview. Network left my phone. And I lost I lost that interview. I wrote email and wrote. They didn't get back to me. Next question. So you don't write any exam or whatever.
Okay. So thank you for answering that. Then Callistus Phoebe is asking, what are the sites to visit to prepare for interview?
Okay, I think I have answered that earlier. We have
maybe what you answered, what you said there was sites you can apply for work. So maybe probably he's talking about sites you can be able to visit for them to put you through. Maybe like you made mention of reading, you need to prepare.
Yeah.
So other places you can read up to know, prepare yourself ahead of interview.
Okay, now depending on the area, for instance, my area is microbiology.
Okay.
Now, anybody that's worked in microbiology knows that it is the last place where automation is taking place in practice of medical laboratory science compared to histology, hematology, and clinical chemistry. So you know that when it comes to blood culture, you don't expect these guys here to be using the manual method. So most time you use Google, you use YouTube, you ask yourself how to do blood culture. You do a lot of question and answer on the YouTube. You do YouTube videos. Do you understand? Apart from them, what I use is a Public Health England. It's a website that has step by step. I don't really have the particular website offhand, but I use Public Health England, where I visited. They will tell you how to process stool, how to process sputum, how to process urine, and a lot of that. It's one of the websites
more like a standard SOP to get any
exactly. Yeah.
So you've answered that question. So let's move. There are many questions to answer. So I just pray if you can finish it in the next 5 minutes if it's possible. But however, someone is asking, is it possible to have a WhatsApp number? I don't know if it's possible. If it's possible, so we can drop the number.
If it's possible, I'm not hiding anything.
Okay, so Obeyechi Peter, it's possible to have his WhatsApp number. So basically, Ifani will drop it at the end of the section. That's why we selected a Telegram group for the live streaming, so that some information can be dropped. You can go through and check for yourself. So somebody's asking rep. I couldn't have taken this question because I like people using their real name in any. In fact, I'm not taking the question. I'm not taking that question. Move to the next person. Cynthia Okafor. She's asking, what's the maximum working hour per day? So I don't really know what her question is. Is it working hour you are permitted to work, or working hour you cannot overwork? So,
I answer that. You'll be given a contract.
Okay.
Contract has a legal binding. You have a lot of information there.
Okay.
Personally, my contract hours is 37 hours per week. Do you understand? So that's that 7 hours a week is you divide it into 5 days because you work from Monday to Friday. That is where
Saturday and Sunday you don't work.
You don't work. If you work Saturday and Sunday, that is extra pay. That is like a call.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Okay. So Cynthia Okafor, we heard what he said. He works for 37 hours per week, Monday to Friday. If you're working extra hour, that's the call, and you get paid for that. So Ademola Ayola is asking.
Before I forget, some people have a contract of 40 hours. Some have 9 hours. Some people have 35. It depends on what you sign.
Okay. Right, that's wonderful. Thanks for the clarification. So Ademola Ayola, he said he will get his WhatsApp number, so no need of asking again. Precious Treasure, she's asking the sites, they don't have the job description here. Like, I know that most of the NGOs I work with have job description, but I can't find it. So what she's asking is, like, if I apply for a job, they give you a job description for you to look through, probably to know what you're preparing for.
Okay. Yes. The simplest answer is yes. They will give you a job description and even tell you the area they will ask you a question.
Okay.
Do you understand? And just like you mentioned, before I forget, questions are not based on only the clinical aspect. There are sometimes I think it's four stages. They will ask you a question based on knowledge of medical laboratory science.
Okay.
They will ask you a question based on quality.
Okay.
Quality management system.
Yeah.
They will ask you a question based on interpersonal relationship with the staff. Do you understand? One of the questions, it is not even the question as a medical lab scientist that most time we fail. We don't. It is not taking. They will ask you. Yeah, they will ask you. Tell me one time you had a problem with your fellow staff and how you resolved it. This is a question. You don't even know what they want from you if you don't have an idea how to tackle it. They tell you, Mr. Favor, tell me how is your typical work day. If you come to work, tell me how your typical work day look like. Well, this is what we can talk later.
Okay, that's thank you very much. So, Precious Treasure, you can see that he has answered that. There's already job description for any job you're applying for. So, someone asked Godwin Momo, overall, is it what the traveling? Hope life is free. So I don't really know if he's free time.
I understand his concern.
But you understand where he's coming from.
Yeah, I understand it. First, yes. And I say it's a big yes. If you have what it takes, start. I believe you are listening to me. But I must tell you something. Life in the West is more of individualistic.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Here, you are your own many times.
Or your states.
Yeah. Unless you find a community of your people, we may stay in the next room, we don't know our names, So what I'm trying to say is that here, you mind your business. It is not a question of you're moving from here. Unless you see your community, people that you know and people from your side, you guys can know. But that doesn't mean life is not good. There is a reason why you want to travel. Okay. And that is the only reason that will keep you here.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. I've answered that question. Someone asked Dr. V.O.A.P. I want to inquire whether it is necessary to go through the process of recognition again, having passed through UK NARIC evaluation some years back. We're talking about Ireland, and so I don't know. Just you can answer. Should I come again with a question?
No, I heard you. I know for Nigerian nurses, when they have worked for, I think, some years, they don't pass through the process of recognition or registration and all that. They will just have I think, a letter from UK. You'll be able to work in Ireland. Do you understand? But I don't have the answer to that if it applies to medical laboratory scientists here. Do you understand? But I think I will have to ask and come back to us. There's no need of making an assumption.
All right, thank you very much, Amanda Johnson. So, Izuchukwu Okeke is asking, how many CPD will suffice? Like, how many CPD do we need?
Now, they don't really need 10 CPD, 20 CPD, 40 CPD. They want
evidence of that
you are updating yourself. If you have gotten already about 3 different CPD certificates, I don't know if I'm getting it. 2, 3,
Yeah.
4 is enough.
Okay.
You can't just say them just one, because here they take, like today we have what we call journal club. Journal club is when we pick a topic and discuss it either through virtual online, or there is a place all of us will gather and discuss on some clinical issues on the latest. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So you just show them 2, 3 that shows that you actually updating yourself as a medical scientist. So it is not the quantity, the number of the points, the CPD points written on the certificate, but the
No, we're
number.
Nigerians, we are used to the CPD point, so that's why I ask. So basically, to go take what is needed is evidence that you are updating yourself professionally. So Oluchuku Valentine is appreciating you for the class. Oluchi Akwari is also thanking you for the class too. So, but Blessing Oche have 3 questions for you. One is, when you're talking about CV, you mentioned building your CV. What are the content we should look out for in building our CV? You need to go for a CV class. However, if Emily Johnson have answer, you will answer. The number 2 she asked is, you said there are sites to visit to know what's happening, and okay, you've answered that one. Then finally, I was privileged to speak with a scientist currently practicing in Ireland, and he mentioned that when applying for a job on the job site, you apply based on area of specialization. How true is that? And can you apply that specialty under biomedical sciences even if it's not your area of specialization? You just said, Henry, thank you. So basically, she asked, how do you build your CV? What are you to mention your CV to sell yourself? That's what I answered about the question. The third one is, you said about specialization. Sorry, somebody in Ireland already told her about specialization. So how true is that? Or can someone apply for that specialty? So,
Okay. For the CV issue, it's not something I should be able to say now, but including your CPD program you have attended, do you understand, will help. And some of all, it's not something I will
no, I understand you. You know, so I need to make this clarification. In Nigeria, we can say things we want to say on social media, but for the fact you go to countries like UK, Ireland, Australia, US, there are some ethics as a medical lab professional you must hold at esteem. So it's not everything you can just come up and say. I get embarrassed when I come to Twitter. You see people discussing patients' results, patient diagnosis, and everything. Those things can make back somebody home and start coming back home. So I understand the point you're coming from, Mr. Johnson. So, however, the question she asked again is area of specialization. So
I will use myself. My major is microbiology.
Okay.
My very first interview was histopathology,
Okay.
and I passed. My first interview was histopathology. I passed. There is what we call panel. Panel is a list of people that succeeded in an interview.
Okay.
And maybe they want to create 5 people in the panel. So they will score people from highest. The first 5 will enter the panel, others will be failure. So the first person in that panel will be given appointment letter. If he or she rejects it, they will send it to second person.
Okay.
Or if the first person accepts it, the remaining 4 person will remain in the panel.
Okay.
That panel can last for 6 months or 1 year. So within that period of the panel, if there is vacancy, they will call the next person in the panel.
Okay.
Do you understand? So the histopathology interview I got, the panel lasted for 6 months, and there was no vacancy till 5th month expired. The 7th month, vacancy came out.
Wow.
So to your question, there is no law preventing you, because you are hematology, from applying to histo. In short, I know people that are microbiology that have gotten histo. I know people that are hematology that have gotten chemistry. You can apply any. I've had interview in immunology and failed. I've had interview in microbiology and failed. I've had interview in chemistry and failed. I've had interview in blood transfusion, hematology, and failed. So the only thing is that you may be a micro major, but you have been working through as histo. My dear, when I have history interview and you will get it. So there's no restriction. You can be a multidisciplinary too. You can work in histo, blah, 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 blah. So no restriction. But at a time, personally, I stopped applying for other ones and restricted myself to micro.
All right, thank you very much. You've answered that question very, very in fantastic way. So Chidera Majesty is saying thank you very much for the enlightenment. Erimo Sela is asking, does the certificate class affect your registration? For instance, I'm a first class, second class, or pass a class, lower third class. Does it have any effect on my registration to be registered to Paris Island?
Well, first of all, we know that there is no door first class will not open. You know, so first class is out of the question. Do you understand? So I have seen a 2-1 that has registration.
Okay.
I have seen a 2-2 that has the registration. I don't know of third class, but I doubt. Yeah, I doubt if it.
Okay, so if a student listens to us, just try your possible best to be on the other side of life than to be on the other side of gazing whether it is possible or it is not possible. However, if you graduated with your class, I think there will be a follow-up question to know the possibility of how you're going to work out. But I know in UK, the one I did, first class, second class, or third class, doesn't count. So, however, I think Mr. Johnson will have maybe a follow-up to that letter. So
yeah, we'll have to issues to follow up now. I hope Ifeanyi is knocking them down.
Yeah,
One is one that is working in UK for long.
Ifeanyi is one of the smartest scientists now. So don't worry.
Ifeanyi, want to anything.
So Oluwamuyawo, I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing their name well, says thank you a lot, sir. Micah is saying thank you so much. I really appreciate. MLS Alice Solomon is saying thank you so much. He's still a student though. Isan Ehima is saying thanks a lot, MLS Johnson, for your insights. Habebullah is saying thank you very much. Maureen Abamu is saying thank you for your time. Our guest, God bless you. MLS Henry is saying thank you. Izuchuku Francis is saying thank you, sir. I really appreciate the information. Josephine Opa is saying thank you so much, sir, for all your effort on time. God bless you. D is saying thank you for the class. Esther is saying thanks very much, MLS Jones, for your selfless service. Remain blessed. Humphrey Delight is saying thank you so much, sir. Remain blessed. Ruben Omoribo is saying thanks a lot for the class. God bless you. Chris is saying, God value, thanks, very explicit. Adelo Samson is saying, MLS Jones, you're really a straightforward person. I'm willing to help. God bless you, really good. Someone is saying, asking a question, but let me take it. I saw something like a bank statement. Is there a specific amount to be in your account? So I don't really know if you've been following us. I don't know if I didn't hear the same thing we heard. So MLS Johnson, do you say anything about bank statement? If you said, please just make some clarification.
Bank statement is needed during visa application.
Okay, visa applications, okay.
Yes. So at visa application, that bank statement is one of the official documents that they want to pick 2 things from it.
Okay.
That 2 things inside that official document is your address.
Okay.
That address has to tally with the address you have been using with Guru. I had that problem, and it took me more than 1 month before Zenith Bank could not correct it. So at the end of it, I have to use GT. Because I wrote to Lagos, because I opened my Zenith Bank when I was in Yaba, Lagos. So when I went to Zenith Bank in Enugu, they said I have to write to the manager in Lagos. Yeah, I wrote, they never replied. So one day I woke up and started using, I went to GT Bank, and they rectified that day. So then I printed my GT Bank. Then at the end of the day, I had a problem too, because GT Bank was not the bank my salary was entering.
So, okay, you need to submit a proof of salary.
Yeah, and it is not the amount of money inside it. If you have gotten a job as a medical scientist, it's not really the amount, because I didn't really have up to, I had less than 150,000 in my account.
Yeah, big man, sir.
What do you mean by that? So what I'm trying to say is that it's not really, but if you have money, good, because, and if there is big money in that account, you have to explain the source. They will tell you, if there's a lodgement of big money, you have to explain the source.
Okay.
I don't need to get in, but make sure that the salary, the bank statement will be where they are paying your salary. Because when you apply for visa, you will bring pay slip.
Okay.
to show that you are receiving salary. And that pay slip should tally with what will be in the bank statement.
Okay.
So 6 months ahead of the time, even if you don't have job, you must have a job. At least they will be paying you salary into. I will draw my statement.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, correct. MLSA Fine took me is trying to remind us to engage with the resource persons. You can engage with Mr. Johnson on Twitter, on LinkedIn, myself, Favor Nadi, anywhere you go, that's someone name everywhere. So basically, I'll drop the handles. Just scroll up, look at the pin messages. The pin message, you see all the handle of the resource persons today. Because one thing about this is about information. So we have Eziako Stanley. He's asking, please elaborate on how to get that school proficiency from my school. English proficiency from my school, sorry. So
Okay.
just elaborate.
Okay. If you are a graduate from University of Nigeria, you just go to a department and ask that you need for proficiency test. English proficiency test. You will get it. You can also get it online from University of Nigeria website. But that one you get from University of Nigeria website does not specify that you are working. Does not specify that you are working in an English medium, in a lab where people speak English. You communicate in English language. So they might accept it during recognition, but definitely it will be rejected during registration. So to be on the safer side, you get the one that specifies. So, and again, you can actually get it from your working place. Especially if I work in a place for 2, 3, 4, 5 years.
Another thing I want to people to know. So I know, is there something like it must be an official letter, official email, so things like that, so I can be very careful.
Yeah, the truth is that it has to be verifiable. You can't send something that there's no third party that can verify the information. So it has to be on the letterhead. That letterhead is supposed to contain phone number, address for the person that actually can reach out and ask, is this document legitimate? Okay. So it has to have email, it has to have a website, you have the phone number. There must be a contact. If not, it is not legitimate.
Okay, so that's fine. You've answered very well. So, someone is asking, is internship enough work experience, or how many years work experience? That's if I'm getting this question, do you need for registration?
Okay. Now, you know that the way they train people here, in the final year here, they have right to apply for job. By the time you start looking for job, you will see where they say that final years are eligible to apply for this job. That is here. By the time you have done your internship and your NYSC, that is 2 years experience.
Okay.
But you must back it up with evidence.
So 2 years experience is
yeah. I didn't say that 2 years experience is the minimum, as in you must have up to 2 years experience. Okay. But sometimes you tailor your CV, your clinical posting is your experience. Every one of us did clinical posting, is it not?
Yeah.
And some of us may have had exemption from NYSC. That means you will do internship before you become a medical scientist. Your clinical posting and your internship become experience. And again, you could anytime you have had volunteering work, please get evidence. They like volunteer work. Get evidence that you have volunteered and what you did during the volunteering work. You put it. And that's it.
So that's mine. So let me take. Basically, I won't take all the question that is remaining. So that our guests, I want to close this section by 10 p.m. if possible. I know it's possible. So some of the questions answered it. Esther is asking the maximum minimum working hour. You have answered some of these questions. How much you earn in a week? Nobody can answer. It's a public space. People can tell you.
Let me answer that question. Don't worry.
Okay.
Now,
you can,
if you go to those websites for job, any job advertised will tell you the amount they are going to pay you.
Okay.
Every medical scientist, we have 3 cadres here. Basic grade, also called staff grade.
Okay.
Is it either called basic grade or staff grade? We have senior scientists. You cannot be senior scientist when you don't have your master's and some years of experience.
Are you serious? Wow.
Yes. So here you are the one that will upgrade yourself. Then after
Okay, sorry, if a follow-up question, somebody asks, can you be working and be schooling? Is it possible?
now, remember deployed you to help them, right?
Yeah.
So, but when you have offered some service, they have a
Right.
number of years, you can be given some free time. But I know of someone that is not up to 1 year, but the person is doing masters, but online. And that brings to what we call annual leave. Annual leave here, you don't wait till you take 1 month straight. You can be taking it 2 days. You see somebody say he or she is on annual leave, maybe just 2 days.
Okay.
You have maybe a number of hours in a year. You can be taking it small. So you may be doing your masters online and use your annual leave for exam, maybe when it requires your time to go to the campus to do anything.
Okay, and that's a follow-up question. Can people go to get job? If people...
I have not finished that initial question. Say the payment. Let me clarify it. So the payment is that, it's not like our country. Every basic grade lab sciences has a range. Anywhere you employ is between 33,000.
Whether in the bush or in the town, anywhere.
Is between 33,000 to 55,000.
Okay.
Nobody will pay you above. Nobody will pay you below. Now the question is that two of us can start. They start paying me 40, and they start paying you 36. What caused the difference? What caused the difference is the number of years of experience I have.
Okay.
Like someone coming out from the college will be started at *3. That is the basic. Do you understand? And will be going. So if you are being paid 33 per year, don't you know the amount of salary you are earning?
I understand.
Do you get it? So the only thing you
that's
don't
like a basic salary if you're not working extra hour, if you're not working.
that's not extra. By the time you remove your rent and tax, the remaining one is your own. I think I've answered.
Yeah, so a follow-up question: can someone go with? This one's coming from me. You're married with kids. Can you go with your spouse, or can you go with your fiancé? Can you go with your girlfriend? So all those things are valid questions.
Yeah.
Some persons are asking me behind.
Okay, behind. Now, yes. When you will be applying for your visa, they will ask you the number of dependents. They will ask you, are you married? They will ask you the number of children you have. You have to fill all those things. Do you understand?
Okay, sir.
So if you're married or you have a dependent who doesn't have any other person to help him or her, you put the person's name there. Let me assume you are married with 2 kids. You have right to come with them. The only thing is that you make arrangement for accommodation and other logistics. But so I think
it's only marriage you can come with.
You can come with your girlfriend.
What if that's smarting on our head?
Smarting.
These are valid questions people are asking, so we need to answer this. You understand?
Please. If you are ready, it is better maybe you have court wedding.
Okay.
Is enough. Maybe you've not really gotten money to do other things. If the arrangement between two of you, if you can agree, you can do court wedding, and that will make your partner to be written in when you're making application for visa. Maybe later when you have gotten some change, you go down and finish.
All right.
But
okay.
Let me point. Okay.
No, I wanted to take the last question, but finish up.
No problem. Okay. We cannot finish everything, I want to say.
Yeah, you cannot finish everything. So, some of the last question I want to take is somebody's asking the video. The video, you can watch the video again, but our guests will review, then we'll make it available. You can watch it. So, on this note, I'm going to be throwing the curtain here. So, please, I'm seeing everybody's message, appreciating the guests, appreciating me, appreciating the co-host. I really appreciate and love your support and your presence here. However, we cannot continue beyond this time. The agreed time I want us to stay is 10 p.m. So if we will now stay above 10 p.m., we just want to stay more than that time. So, however, some of the things have been said from how you must make sure you are good standing with MLACN. You need to have international passports. There's 2 stages that involve two stages that involve the recognition and the registration. You must also learn to save. You must make sure your documents is tallying. As I'm saying for Nadi, I should not go and remove O from my favor or remove U from my favor. It will to delay the processing time. The documents you need is one, the degree certificate, transcript, recommendation letter. So if you are not in good terms with your colleagues at work or with your employer, so please start now to leave a good legacy by being in good terms with them, because you need them. You need evidence of registration with MLSCN, your Kuru receipt to say how much you pay for recognition and registration. You are paying 410 euros and you're paying 100 euros for the other one, respectively. So you need your current practicing license from MLSCN. So if you don't have your license, you should start processing your license. So you need a proof of English language proficiency, which must be gotten from your department. It must have a level of verification. You should have at least written on the letterheaded paper, email attached, phone numbers, and a website possibly. So this is what is contained. And there are two phrases that must be in that English proficiency. One, that you had on English. English was a medium of education. Secondly, that your working environment, you are working in where English is used as a means of communication. Then you need a CPD certificates. So basically, it's not 10 CPD or 20 CPD, but just a proof to show that you have been developing yourself professionally. Last is the university curriculum, because they must tally what you've done from year 1 to final year, your clinical posting, to know if is what is something that's obtainable in Ireland for them to be able to get this thing done. So basically, Ifeanyi will compile these documents and compile what you need to do, the website you need to go, the resource persons, the resource information you need to have. And also, if you are here, I think even going to, there's a thread in D. So you also drop the link. That thread is a complete information of everything you need to know on how to migrate to Ireland. So at this point, I've summarized all that is needed. So Ifeanyi can drop his WhatsApp line, you can drop mine too, you can drop yours too. So if there's any follow-up message, you can just send me. I'm always responding to people. If I'm not responding to people, I know many persons have come to me and said, how do I have this kind of webinar? So it's because of your messages to me that made me to organize this, and I'm very grateful for Emmanuel Johnson Onyeke for a detailed information this night. Like, if you've been here with us, you know that he detailed information, and he was very blunt with the truth. He didn't paint any wall. He didn't tell you your life will change immediately or anything. You need to follow the procedure, the process, and have that patience, and just know that it's not going to be that rose. At every stage you are going to be on this process. It's not going to be a chingum stain. It's something that will require time, money, and we must be very careful and in fact it must be detailed. Let me summarize it that way. So please, the video will be available in a short while, well, not immediately. Then also, if there's any follow-up question, please, he has made himself available to answer any question. I made myself available to also answer any question that you want to answer. So beyond also asking questions, you can also connect with these persons. Beyond Island movement, Emmanuel Johnson is dropping information on LinkedIn, on Twitter. He's dropping key things that can help you to grow as medical laboratory science professionals. Maybe you're just doing your NYC, you don't know your next stage. So that's basically what social media is doing, bringing people like minds together. I've not met Emmanuel Johnson before. I don't even know him. But social media have made us one. I've come in contact with him, and now we are best of friends, and he's like a senior and a mentor to me. So basically, you just have to have that in your back of your mind, that social media is a medium where you can connect with people, learn on what you don't know, or also connect with the international community. So I'm really happy for this night. I also want to appreciate, especially to Ifeanyi. I told Ifeanyi within a space of 2 or 3 days, he was okay, I'm going to do that. Well, the kind of work I'm doing, I'm not able to coordinate at the back end, or able to be available. In fact, I'm not still wearing my working clothes. I just came back, just immediately started. So I need someone that will be able to hold on in case there's a delay with traffic or anything. So Ifeanyi made himself available, paid for the graphic design and everything. So I don't joke with that kind of gesture. I really appreciate that. So finally, I appreciate you, Emmanuel Johnson, from the depth of my heart. It's not easy. It's not everybody that can give someone their time. I know, okay, you are in Ireland, you work per hour. So you've given them 1 hour. So if you are to pay, you know how much it should be if you have put that 1 hour in your workplace. So I really appreciate that. And with the short notice I've given you, you've given me prompt response. You've always been available at every point from LinkedIn. I met on Twitter, same message you said, it's not you I met on LinkedIn. I said, Papa, sorry, I beg, I say me. And you've always given me attention. So I really appreciate that so much. So to everyone who have been part of this program, I really appreciate you. So if you want to still stay online, fine. But I think I can give my guests to this time to go and rest if you wish to. But I know he's already tired, the day's job and everything. So MLS Johnson, if you have a last message you can give to us or any word of encouragement you can say, after saying that, you can now take a bow.
Thank you, Favor. But I must really thank Ifeanyi. He's doing the work of what medical lab scientists are doing in public hospitals. They are behind the scene. That is actually what he's doing. He's the one that made this possible.
Yeah.
But I cannot leave this without really thanking you enough for making this happen. And most importantly, our participants that are listening to us. They felt that we have something to offer, and that is why they are taking their time.
We have 720 members.
So I became afraid. I was like, these people that are joining this, But please, don't lose hope.
Yeah.
If you're really interested, long-term plan, stay connected. Do you understand? But the last thing I will tell you is that as a lady, you are making choice of who to live with. Be intentional if you want to Japan.
Yes.
Make sure that somebody that had the same mindset about living, because you may succeed. It is a big issue. If like social media, you will see such a thing. Somebody asking you to choose between Japan and marrying him. But the truth is that when you live, a lot of things will change in your life. That's the truth. Please, good night, everyone, and thank you for listening.
Thank you so much. I'm really I'm happy for you. Thank you so much. So at this point, you can, so if I want to appreciate everybody. So Ifeanyi, thank you so much. You have a lot of work to do to put everything we've done into some bullets so that people can know what to do. Someone is asking question. He has left, so probably can follow up next time. So is there anybody that wants to be live? Can I bring anybody live? You can turn your camera. You want to say something? You can say something. It's a time to network. I don't know you before. You don't know me, so we can just know ourselves now. And basically, we'll build family from there. So if there's anybody, Ifeanyi, you've not said anything, no. You're just typing. I know you're busy. Say something, Ifeanyi. Yeah, people have been appreciating you. Thank them too.
Okay. I want to thank everybody for making our time to, come here and receive value. I also want to thank my chiefs, MLS Favor and MLS Johnson, for their humility. If there is something I know MLS Favor for, it's the fact that he's so passionate about changing the narrative when it comes to our profession, and when it comes to our country. And sir, I want to publicly give you kudos, okay? And that is what tonight's session was wow. It was just wow. I don't think I'll be feeling time soon. And I'm sure most persons too that participated can also say the same thing. So yeah.
All right, thank you. So please, you can follow Ifeanyi on Twitter. You can follow Ifeanyi beyond Ifeanyi. Just tell us beyond MLS, what do you do again? You're into crypto. You're into tech. Just sell yourself.
Okay. Well, like I mentioned earlier, to be honest, the truth is, social media or the internet is a very powerful tool, both for networking, that is connections, and even for businesses too. So outside medical laboratory science, I am a blockchain student or a blockchain scholar, and by that I mean I am currently taking classes on the technology known as blockchain. I believe it will come to a time where the services or that technology will be needed in our profession. And I would want to be part of the local men from Nigeria to come out and say, yes, so let's say they are looking for developers. Exactly. And so also represent that whole medical laboratory science flag and also that Nigerian flag too. And then aside from that, so I also trade cryptocurrencies. I'm a crypto trader, and I also coach and teach people too. So my DMs are open for persons that would like to make inquiries. Although we are currently working through the valley and the shadow of the deep at the moment, so everybody's kind of quiet and overwhelmed. It's all part of the process too. Okay, it's all part of the whole thing. So yeah.
So basically, why I always encourage people to follow people on social media is not because of just this. The other, if you follow me on social media, you know that I'm not boasting. I give a lot of value. I am representing the profession. I've built. I was the one that created the YMLSF Twitter handle. I built it over 4,000 members. I'm raising. My goal is to raise over 10,000 social media influencers and medical scientists. So that we need to own that space. We need to be in that space. We need to drive our narrative. We need to tell our generation. We need to make people feel the impact of the profession. We need to make people feel that the profession worth something. So I'm really happy. So when I say follow people, if you're following fine, you learn about crypto. He has a startup in crypto. You can pay for his classes and learn things about that. So basically, I teach people how to be intentional and how to show up in social media, how to be unapologetic about their capacity, how to represent the profession, how to basically anything has to do with health communications. I help people and I build people's pattern that way. So basically, if you want anybody now, if you're in this group, you want me to want to say something, kindly unmute yourself. If you have a chance, if you are available for video, you can also turn your video and say something. Please, you have the floor now. I like having interactive sections. So anybody who's available, we are waiting for you. Oluchiku Valentine. So you have the time now. If you have video option, please let's see your face. As I see my face, you're not happy. Let's also see your own face.
Good evening, everybody.
Over to you. All right, good evening, sir.
Okay, thank you very much for this class, and I want to actually thank you personally for organizing the class. I'm actually a student. Yes, I might not be using these informations now, but at least I know a lot about these things, and I got to know you through GeoGreat and all through the one in Melsa Southeast stuff, through one magazine. Yeah, you guys created the Melsa Southeast. First, the Melsa Southeast something. Understand that brought the Melsa Southeast in the whole of Southeast. You GeoGreat, the one from Anambra and the one from Ebonyi State. I saw the magazine. I was one that did the second magazine though. In the last Melsa Southeast this thing, I got to know you through GeoGreat and all. So I've been following you on social media.
Let's connect more. Hmm? You can just send me you can send me a DM. So